Doom 2. It feels like we've been waiting for a long time for Doom 2 to get here. The first time we thought Doom 2 was dropping, he released the Doom Life clothing, which was kind of a surprise, but I guess it's good. Like, if you want to dress like Scarlxrd, those are the clothes for you. Tech wear guys, those are also the clothes for you. Good job, Scar. Good job on that part. Before we get started, I do want to say that I was so surprised about how heavy this album was. Originally, just from the singles that were released before the project came out, except for Apocalypse, it just didn't seem like this was going to be an actual Doom project, whatever that means. But this is so good. It's actually so heavy and so good. So let's go ahead and start talking about it. This album simultaneously had more to it than Doom and not at the same time. From a metal standpoint, this had more riffs, drums, heavier screaming, and more of a consistent vibe that it wanted to show off. If it wasn't for nostalgia and some other aspects that we'll probably get into, I would probably say that this is one of the best projects that Scar's put out recently, or in general. Comparing it to everything that has released after Infinity, I would say this is miles beyond everything that has been released since Infinity, minus except Fantasy Void. But if you're comparing it to the likes of Infinity and Doom, Chaos Theory, even Lord Season, I'd say this is somewhere like in the middle grounds, I'd say. Scar has been in an experimenting phase recently. You can probably tell that from the last project, Fantasy Void. But in this project, the songs that released, they all typically have that Scarlxrd feel to them. They just kind of have more elements onto them. Rather if it's more EDM elements tagged onto it, more he's experimenting with the different ways that he screams. He even barks now, and yes, even auto-tuned ad-libs. Where this project falls apart is somewhere between Serotonin and Evil Ego. While I do enjoy those songs, every song that comes on after that, it feels like it lacks something. And at that moment, it just felt like I wasn't listening to the album anymore. I was just simply waiting for the runtime to end. When it comes to Scarlxrd's recent projects, they have all had the problem of releasing too many songs for us to digest at once. I guess you can blame that on the way streaming songs is set up for that, but also, you can blame the artist for bloating up the album and giving us lacking songs that aren't worth filling up that runtime. If this album was like 16 or 17 tracks, it might be better than Doom, honestly, but Doom, minus no ice, is flawless. Some of the songs I really love are Kill or Be Killed, Drown 6 Times, No Chance of Survival, Stand Your Ground, and Serotonin. These songs get me hyped to the highest degree and I enjoy everything about them, mainly from the instrumental perspective and how he carries himself over them. Some of the songs I dislike are Utopia, yes I dislike Utopia, Do I Still Dream, and Red Light. These songs lack uniqueness minus Utopia. They keep me uninterested and ruin the overall experience for the project. Minus Utopia, I just think Utopia is a bad song. The rest of the songs are good, but they all kind of have that samey Scarlxrd sound to them, and I could easily confuse any of them for the other if I wasn't paying attention to the track list. Now the question is, should you go check out this album? Yeah, I'll say go check out this album. It's probably one of Scarlxrd's best recent releases. With Fantasy Void as an exception, I think this is his best album in the longest time. And like, if you're a fan of Scarlxrd, a fan of metal, a fan of rap, you'll enjoy this album completely. Especially if this is your first Scarlxrd project, you won't notice any of the flaws that go on with it here. You'll just think this is the best project to ever have been released. And yeah, with that being said, it's been your boy, Scooter Reacts, or Scooter, or whatever you want to call me at this point. I'm signing out. Yep, chip, cheerio, goodbye.